Yeah, I can never tell because sometimes you hit the button on the damn thing and you think it's running. See the little counter over here, so it must be running, right? Yeah. I can't help but wonder when I listen to a lot of people talk about this big ugly thing called abortion. And both sides have merit. And that's the truth too. That's a truth that we often don't like to acknowledge on both sides. Do I believe that abortion is murder? I believe abortion is a procedure, a medical procedure. The question is how the procedure is utilized. The act in and of itself is a medical procedure, is not murder. People are so worried about these unborn children. And I have to ask, I really have to ask, how long can that collection of cells in the woman's womb exist outside of her womb? Now, what I mean is, how many weeks does it have to sit in there before it becomes a viable human being that has a decent chance of survival if it's a preemie? How young is what's the youngest preemie that survived and didn't have complications their whole life? But I'm just asking. So if the organism cannot survive outside of the mother's womb up to a certain point, there's your cutoff point for arguing about whether it's murder or not. Whether it's just a willful thing. Because, what they kind of point out is, like my wife likes to go on and on about, well, gee, if you didn't want to have an abortion, don't get pregnant. Don't spread your legs. Don't unzip your pants. Well, it's easier said than done now, isn't it? And then, of course, we can song and dance and tiptoe around all the other ways that this can happen that's against the will or the permission thereof of the would-be mother, of the future mother. I just find it crazy that the same group of pro-life people who are adamant about saving the unborn babies give a rat's ass once the babies are born. Jeez, really? So the whole point here is just to kick our population growth in the backside so it will grow faster? Well, I hate to tell you this, white folk America, no matter how many babies our daughters and granddaughters crank out, we ain't ever catching up. We ain't ever catching up. 10 more generations, we're going to be a minority on a major scale. Anywhere. But specifically in America. Right? Guarantee it. At a certain point, we have to ask ourselves, how much do we okay with letting the government decide what's good and not for us? I mean, the same argument can be used for a lot of things. You want to legalize marijuana across the country. Well, one of the reasons for legalizing it is because it's our body. It's my body. It's the hippie's body over there, and that's what the hippie wants to do to their body. Who the hell is it my business to tell them? Okay? Then there's just common decency, common sense. Yeah, nobody's advocating to go out there and murder children. And this bullshit that the MAGA people kept echoing about, well, even in the 9th month and after, it'll fucking murder you, fuck ass. It's against the law. Don't need more laws to prevent that. Because it's already against the fucking law. It's called murder. People go to prison, get executed for stuff like that. And have been for a long time. Long time. Before you and I came around and started making these decisions. Right? But you can hear it in the meanness of the country when you see the commentary that pops up on all these websites and YouTube sites and all over the place going on about it's your body and my choice. Really? Really? Well, I expect, when you now have the MAGA party is led by a bunch of sex offenders, and yeah, that goes without saying, right? Yeah. Gives, no offense, no offense. No offense, man. Hey, you sex offenders out there. And I relate, man. I can fully relate, you sex offenders out there. I get it. Some of you, anyway. There's some of you are pretty sick fucks. You deserve to be in prison. Stay there. And you know who you are. A lot of us know who you are, too. That being said, right, the MAGA leadership is giving a bad name to sex offenders out there. It's just the truth. Oh my God. Hey, sex offenders of America, how do you like it that you went to fucking prison? And these guys didn't go. Their money, wealth, and privilege helped get them out of prison and keep them there. What was that about a two-tier justice system? No? Oh, yeah. I pity the sex offenders out there. Y'all getting a bad rap because of these a-holes. But who knows? Who knows? MAGA gets elected in 2 years and keeps on going, and maybe it'll be okay to literally grab any girl's ass anywhere you want and do what you want. As long as you get them pregnant, get them pregnant. Because that's what they want at the end of the day, is they want a massive upswing in babies. Specifically white babies, preferably. Oh, that's not what they want. Really? You know what they want? How do you know any more than I know what they want? But I got eyeballs. I got ears. I could smell the shit from 10 miles away. Just saying. It should be your choice. It's your body. Your decision. Until it becomes a point where it's no longer your choice. So if you have, at a point where you have a viable baby and you're carrying it into the second or third or fourth trimester or whatever it is, and that baby could, they can remove that baby and it has a good chance of surviving without you, then yes, you have a responsibility now for the life you carry within you, ladies. That's truth. But I will never, ever suggest that it's any position of any white grown-ass man to tell you how to take care of your body. It's an ugly thing. No getting around it. And guess what? You ain't getting rid of it. Oh no, MAGA! Oh no, Christian nationals! We're gonna potentially have a nationwide abortion ban. I'm a big fan of history, my friend. History repeats itself all the fucking time. Very few people today alive, very few women today that it's alive. There's a few that can tell you, specifically you other the young ladies out there, just how you can get abortions done without being legal. Because they used to do them a long time ago. Before Roe, before Planned Parenthood, before there was institutionalized options for abortion, i.e. hospitals that could do that or would do that. It was in a dark room in somebody's gloomy basement, in the back room of some rundown whatever, and they were using crude tools. Maybe they'd sterilize them and maybe they wouldn't. The old wire coat hangers was a common tool they used to perform abortions. And that's exactly what they will be doing. Because poor people don't have the luxury that rich people do. A lot of these rich fucks that are funding these ideas and these programs, well, they can just pack their precious little princesses off to Europe or Asia to get whatever procedures they want and need done. Because they can afford it. They can afford it. And they can do it. And ain't nobody in our government going to stop them. Ask yourself, really honestly, ask yourself, if you're that pro-life, that you're going to ban abortions across the board, shouldn't you then ban pregnant women from traveling outside the country? What do you expect that some of those programs that certain people want to put into play or we're talking about as part of that 2025 BS last 6-8 months, where they're going to track your baby and track all of it, keep track of it all? Now, why would they need to do that? Well, in case you skip the country to get an abortion. Unless, of course, you're, in the top 1%, the elites, well, they can get whatever they want because they can just buy permission from their already corrupt fucking government. That's my opinion on that.